Mr. Felix Muoka. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, the coalition, they say the ADC is a dead party, and that is not a party that has not done anything. And Ralph Nwosu says, well, he's committed to Nigeria. That's why he yielded a platform for this your party that is not meeting Nigeria's expectations to be pushed aside. And that is a project that the alliance, the coalition is committed to. What do you have to say to Nigerians? Because he says it looks like you people are really under pressure, big pressure, and it looks like you people are jittery in the APC, very jittery. Mr. Muoka, can you hear me?
Thank you very much, Doctor. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for having me today. No, the All Progressives Congress, APC, is not jittery, has no reason to be jittery at all. We're not jittery because the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is the leader of our party, is doing exactly what Nigerians elected him to do. He is standing tall and standing strong for Nigeria. He's voting with all fingers of his hands for the progress and prosperity of Nigerians. This president, unlike any other president that has come through generations of presidents in our country, decided upon his swearing in that some of the most acerbic challenges confronting our country must be confronted with seriousness and with total devotion. He summoned the political will, which no other president has done before him, to confront those challenges. And today, 2 years on, we have a whole lot to say about the outcomes, at least preliminary outcomes, of this bold, determined effort of this president. Now, I just listened to a part. I didn't hear all of the interview with Mr. Ralph Nwosu. And it's really pitiful because, even though the so-called ADC, the choice of the platform ADC was made just a few days ago, Dr. Ruben Abati, you will recall that this judgment by these characters who have now constituted themselves into the ADC began very early on in the life of this administration to vilify this government and, in fact, issue a report card that this government has not, in fact, met the expectations of Nigerians. Even in the first few days of this administration, individually, they all came to that conclusion. So, look, this is a predetermined judgment. It is not a judgment that follows an examination where you have an assessment over a constitutional term of 4 years to say whether or not the president has succeeded. Even now, today, we're just barely, over the 2-year mark for this government. And some of these individuals have already decided for themselves, by themselves, and in their own interests, that this president has in fact not met the expectations of Nigerians. That is all dubious and is bogus. Bogus in the extreme. Now, let me just say this, that all of the faces you see who parade themselves as members of the ADC coalition, look very closely at them. Discover the tribal marks on their faces, whatever birth marks they have on their faces. Keep it in your mind, my fellow compatriots. These are many of the architects of Nigeria's misfortune that has now become totally generational. They are the architects of Nigeria's economic stagnation. They are the architects of Nigeria's, incredible dimensions of corruption and underdevelopment and extreme poverty. These are the men, especially, I don't want to bring women into it so far, but these are the men who, constructed what this president today is trying to solve. Now, let me say this. This president has only been the governor of Lagos State. He's been operating in the Southwest. He's never been on the national stage, never had, to my knowledge, never had any political position on the national stage. This is his first time of emerging on the national stage as president. Yet, the people who have occupied and saturated the political stage nationally today dare to suggest that this president is the reason Nigeria is on its knees. Now, let me say this, Doctor. Nigeria is no longer on its knees. They brought Nigeria to its knees. But Nigeria, by virtue of the commitment of this president, has decided that no longer will Nigeria, crumble to fall on its knees. Nigeria has arisen. Our economy has arisen. The hope for Nigeria for the future has arisen. And I don't think that anybody like Ralph Wosu has any locus to come speak to the incredible moment that we're living through. This is a historical moment. And I think that anyone who loves Nigeria must pay attention and support this president because he's doing what no other president has done. He has jettisoned the popularity, the need to be popular with Nigerians because he's putting Nigeria first because we are all Nigerians. So when he puts Nigeria first, he puts Nigerians first, our collective best interest first. And I think that that's really where we are, and which is why we're not concerned about any kind of coalition, whether under the ADC or under ADA or any other nomenclature that they choose. We're not concerned about that. We're simply focused on government. And I think by the fullness of this time, Nigerians will be self-evident that this president loves this country and means well for this country.